Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
All right. Thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Glad you're with us right here on Sports Scene, right here on News Talk 1650. Also, tunein.com, type in WHKT. Mike from the morning show is the producer. Engineer right here filling in for Joe Daniel. This is October 26th. We're getting closer and closer to Halloween as well as Election Day. Tell your friends about 1650 on Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, and HR1LineMall.com, as well as WHKT AM 1650. Thank you to our military as well as our great guest lineup. Featured guest today, Karen Barefoot, the head women's basketball coach at Old Dominion University. Sponsors on GJBTV.com, homepage and the marketplace sponsors. Guest lineup presented by Mi Casita Mexican Restaurant with 2 excellent locations in Virginia Beach. You can see all of that on Hampton Roads OneLineMall.com on the restaurant sections as well. Phone line presented by Newcastle as well. Sponsors this month, Spaghetti Eddie's. Newcastle Crawl Space, Mi Hogar, starts November 1st. News and notes brought to you by Tokyo Grill and Buffet in Hampton. Great place for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Redskins 4-3, Ravens struggling. World Series, Cubs and Indians. Cubs right now are trailing that series 1-0. Virginia Tech doing very well. UVA struggling. It's showtime. All right, welcome back right here to Sports Scene. Great job by Mike right here filling in as well. And also we have a special guest co-host as well. We have Brenda Tusing from the Royal Chocolate. Brenda, how are you this Halloween week?
I am great this Halloween week. Greg, how are you today?
Very good, very good. We want to welcome our very special guest, a young lady I've known for several years. She went to Menchville High School in Newport News, also Christopher Newport. And she has coached at several places around the United States, including, of course, Old Dominion the last several years, Lenore Ryan, Elon, and the Apprentice School. The women's basketball coach at ODU is Karen Barefoot. Karen, how are you, my friend?
I am so fired up, excited to be with you today on air, Greg. I mean, we go back a long ways, and I'm excited.
Yeah, say hello to Brenda as well, Karen.
Hey, Brenda. Great to have you.
Hey, Karen. Nice to talk with you today.
Yes.
All right. First of all, Karen, how has the off season gone for you in general and the team? How fired up are you? It's almost time for basketball.
Well, great momentum from being in the finals and coming close to winning the Conference USA Championship. So I guess they gave them a lot of energy because they've had one heck of an off season. Really worked hard to get themselves in the best shape, got extra shots up throughout the summer, and they came in preseason ready to go. We've got a very experienced group. We've got some talented freshmen coming in. So the thing that I would say most is the fact that we've got great leadership behind Jenny Sims and Destiny Young, and that's always a very good sign when you're coming into first practice in October.
So, Karen, tell me, how important is it to get your team chemistry flowing now, before the games start?
It is very important and a great question. It's a team, and people forget about that. Everybody's important on the team, not just the person who scores the most, but everybody has to do their job, and they have to do it at a high level. So they have to respect one another. They have high standards. They've got to problem solve for a team to win. And so I feel like we've done a really good job just working on, team bonding throughout the summer, whether it be, them working my camps or just getting out there in the community, reading books to kids, whatever it may be. Just because that's really when you bond off the floor, not just on the floor, and it helps the chemistry flow. Especially
during the road trips, as we're talking to the women's basketball coach at ODU, head basketball coach Karen Barefoot. Your team has made 3 WNITs. I know the fire inside you. You want this team to make the NCAA tournament, and really, like you said, it really started once the last game of last year was over with, correct?
Absolutely. They had that fire in the belly that they knew that they came so close, and really have rebuilt this program the last couple of years to get where we are. So they're so excited about this upcoming year to be able to share it with our fans. We've got a competitive schedule that we feel that was going to test us early when we have to play against Miami and Duke and the national runner-up Syracuse, and then we have our local rivals like VCU and William & Mary and Hampton University. So very excited about that, to be tested early to be ready for a competitive Conference USA.
Karen, how was the off season for the team?
It's been great, and I tell you what, it's the reason why I say that is because they all know that we've created this culture of winning and having, the attitudes of, helping each other and pushing each other and holding each other accountable. So I feel like in those areas we've gotten really good at, and I feel like we've got some players that were injured last year that are resilient. And so everybody's back, and this is the deepest team I've had, and I feel like we've got talent. We got Jenny Sims, who returned to our program, who was a Conference USA leading scorer, 7th in the nation. And then we were top in our conference in rebounding and 2nd in defense. And we have a lot of people that can really put the ball in the hole. So we feel like we've got the pieces. We're just trying right now to put it together. And it's a process. It's a marathon season, so you don't want to skip the process of, making sure the little things matter, make sure you're in great shape, make sure you're communicating early, make sure you're doing your assignments, making sure the girls have a good balance with school. People forget about that. We always say A before B, academics before basketball, because that's really important.
Right. We hear a lot about Jenny Sims. We know her father played at Virginia, so she's got that pedigree. She reminds me of you. She's got that internal fire that your assistant coaches don't have to constantly initiate all the time. It's nice when the players and somebody else has to initiate besides the head coach, but how much are you going to rely on Brown and Loftus and Kemp to help the chemistry of the team?
We're going to rely on everybody. Everybody's got to take the pressure off of Jenny, because Jenny really can do it all. And Jenny had the opportunity to go in the WNBA draft at the end of last year, because you can qualify to do that. And she decided to come back and be a part of this team. She loves the university. She loves the program. She loves her teammates. And she wants to finish strong here. So, we have to have other people to really step up and do their job to make it work. And I think that's where the question was, hey, how was the off season? It's been great, because they've committed to working on their game and getting themselves in the best shape possible and getting out there and leading. So I think that, right now we're at as a team in October, I'm excited. But again, every day we got to get better.
So Karen, you have some new players, you have returning players. How are they gelling?
They are gelling really well, and I give credit to our seniors and our staff too, that we're constantly talking about it's we over me. Okay? It is not about one person. It's about the team, putting the team first. And we have this big sign outside our locker room that says, the team. If you're not going to put the team first, turn around and go the other way. And we're constantly talking about that, because in this world you need each other. You need everybody to make it work. So I feel like we've been really seeing everybody kind of gel and, picking each other up. I always say I want to lead the nation in high fives and floor burns, two things that don't show up on a stat sheet. Okay? So we focus on those things, not just high five when you're good, but high five when you're down. Pick somebody else up, make them feel good. So I feel like we're gelling, because we're putting, they're putting their teammate first, and I think that's important.
We're talking to Karen Barefoot, head women's basketball coach right here at Old Dominion University, of course, in Conference USA. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. We've interviewed her on Collegiate Sports Focus, Sports Highlights, Sports Scene on several different radio stations. A pleasure to talk to Karen before the season gets started. And, of course, like you mentioned, too, you personally like to get a lot of your speaking engagements and stuff done during the off-season. I know you spoke at the Peninsula Sports Club this past summer, but once it's basketball season, you're pretty much all business, aren't you?
I always say I'm all in 110. I'm when I get focused on something, I just can't stop. And right now, my passion is about this team. But I also know the importance of giving back and making people feel like they're a part of us. Because again, our fans, we have the best fans in the country, and we always say that they're our sixth man, and they help us as much as we get out there and just trying to make a difference. And I really feel like right now we're really trying to get the job done every day. I mean, we want to know that, we're competing every day, we're ready for battle, and we're a strong team. So, again, I mean, it's just, to me, I love October. It's the second best month of the year because, October comes around and you even see Halloween stuff that basketball is here.
Sure.
And I always say my favorite month is, of course, March because you want to be dancing in March.
Mm-hmm.
Karen, would you share with us today what you feel are the strengths and weaknesses of the team?
Sure. I think that the strength of our team is our leadership and our depth. I feel like we're deep this year. I've never had a team that had so much depth. And I say that because last year we ended the season with 9 players because we had a lot of injuries. And now we have everybody coming back from last year's team, and we have the injured coming back, and we have a talented, strong freshman class. So I think our size, our strength and all that is exciting for our coaching staff because we've got a lot of different things that we feel like can make a difference, and we are going to be tested early in non-conference with some competitive ACC and teams and to see where we're at. But I think that that's big for us to be able to come in preseason knowing that we have the bodies and we have the experience and we have the depth. On the other hand, I would say our weakness is just we got to continue to work on taking care of the ball and get to know the others. And I think that's going to be a big thing for us is just hold them accountable for possessions. Mm-hmm. We always say own our identity, and we always do that with rebounding and defense. And we can shoot the three, and we can do a lot of different things. But we like to see on the stat sheet the 1-1 ratio, assist to turnover ratio. And so if you look at last year, we weren't as good as we wanted to be. So we've got to value the basketball a little more. And once we do that, and as we go throughout the year, we hope to be really good come March.
Karen, you mentioned a good point, too. The season's so long, and you need the chemistry, you need the energy. Body language is important, too. Obviously, you've coached a lot of women in a lot of different levels. Can you read a girl's eyes and see if she's focused just as much in February or March? Because that desire, to keep that desire going, you basically know who's in or out pretty early.
Oh, yeah. Great point. Body language screams. I mean, You can tell somebody who's in it, who's not, who's down, who's out, and you feed off of that. And we talk about that a lot in practice. We always say a quiet gym's a losing gym. Everybody's, cheering on if they're not in a drill because that brings confidence. And so those things, I think, are a big part of what we do. And believe it or not, we have a hustle chart, and it has all those things. So there's communication, it's floor burns, it's little things across the board that we feel are important, and one of them is body language. And if they look negative, we call it a brick. We put a little mark down brick, and that means at the end of practice, brick means they may be running some suicides. Right. But because we want to make sure that they understand you're not going to make every shot, and it's okay. Next play mentality.
Yeah, I think you can only go as far as your attitude takes you. And about your assistants, you have an excellent group of assistants as well.
Yeah, and I think that that's really important when you're coaching because you got to have a good balance across the board. And we know Coach Corrigan, he works with our post and he works with our offense. And you have Coach Woods, he works with recruiting and defense and our off guards. And then you have Coach Langford, who works with our point guards, and she works on some different things with decision making. And then you have our director ops, who organizes all the little things, make sure girls are on time, doing what they need to do, academics. So, in this business, I mean, everybody's important, and you got to make sure everybody is holding each other accountable for certain things.
So how about social media, Karen? Is that important to the team?
Well, I think that in women's basketball game today, I think it's a way to connect with others and for others to follow. And I even think with recruiting too. I mean, a lot of people get the chance to see the inside of what we're doing, and they get to see, stories or pictures or things like that. I think that, a lot of people now enjoy looking at social media and following teams or just following, their passion. And so I think that's good. On the other hand, and I always tell my players this, is like, I really would want them to spend more time with their studies and, just being with their team and problem solving and less on the phone, because sometimes it can be they can get addicted to being on the phone. So when we travel and things like that, we try to get them to put the phones away. The managers hold the phones just so they can have relationships with their teammates. They can have a good, they can talk and things like that, because I think that's important to, problem solve, to lead, to run, one day when they leave here and they're going to be successful, is to be able to know how to manage people. So I try to, work on the communication right now, but also know where the line is with having the phone and things like that, so they can become great leaders.
That's a great point, too, talking to Karen Barefoot, the women's basketball coach at Old Dominion University in Conference USA. Of course, she went to Christopher Newport herself, that when you and I were growing up, we had to do face-to-face and verbal in the phone. And, of course, now the phone has got everything. If you don't have a fully charged phone in the business world, it's difficult. But when you have to travel to the places you have to go to, the bus rides, the plane trips, you can't text while you're playing basketball. It's about teamwork. And like you said, it really starts now from day one before you start playing against Norfolk State and William & Mary, VCU, and Hampton.
Oh, yeah, all the little things like that to me are so important, having real conversations. If I text you something, that's not really real. I'd rather say it to you, whether it's an issue or a concern or maybe something that you just need to know, and that's making sure that you work it out and come up with a positive result. And so every day I think that I just try to monitor that, because I think that's important. In the day, the happiest day of my life is to see them walk across that stage, graduate, and go make a difference, that I've prepared them for the world ahead. And so it's the little things, like you said today, that we've got to make sure that we stay on them and make sure you know what's positive and make sure that they're finding themselves. And I always say that every day. I mean, you got to understand that we have these rules, we have these standards. We want to build a winning culture here, but again, we want you to be able to go out there and work with a team and win a championship together, because it's going to take everybody. So everybody's important to communicate, to have positive body language, to understand what we're trying to do.
What do you see, Karen, different about this year's team compared maybe to other teams?
I tell you what, I don't just like this team. I really love this team. And I say that because they are so genuine. They are so compassionate. They are so willing to do anything for each other. And I think that is big. I think character is big. When you can be a great basketball player, you can, go out there and get X amount of rebounds, but in the day, how do you treat people? And I just like who they are. I think that they would just do anything. Like, we're in practice and I tell them a drill, they do it at not 100%, they do 110%. They go as hard as any team that I've really ever coached. And I just love their passion. So that's fun for me. They're very unselfish and willing to do anything to win a championship for this community, for this university, for this program. They've really kind of bought into that championship effort. Our athletic director, Wood Seeley, talks about that all the time with all the student athletes, how important that is to give that. Give your best. In the day, that's what's important.
And what's important, too, is like how you get everybody involved, all inclusive, whether it's a net, your office manager, your sports information people. You treat them like they are part of the team, like they're your players, like they're assistants, and also the parents of the team. You keep that communication line open.
Yeah, and I think it's big. I mean, someone asked me, the other day, like, did you know that, you're 40-something years old and you're 4 wins away from 300 head coaching wins? I mean, how does it feel? And honestly, I've been a head coach since I was 22 years old, and with no experience, went right into being a head coach because an athletic director saw me be a positive leader out there and had no experience and took a chance on me at the apprentice school to start a women's basketball program from scratch, just because the way that I, worked together with my team and the way I carried myself. And so for me, it's like I've always said, the wins that I have, it's really not about me. It's the people that I surround myself with, the people that I want working to make a difference. And I just credit the players that played for me, the players that are with me right now, the secretary, the janitor, anybody who's ever been a part of me, as part of, my coaching journey, because that's what it's about. It's about having a family atmosphere, and that's kind of how I was raised, is that Orange Ball gave me so many blessings that I'm just giving back to the great game that gave me so much blessings when I played, and now I get a chance to coach it, which is, to me, is the ultimate honor.
A few more moments with Karen Barefoot, head women's basketball coach, live right here on 1650. TuneIn.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. This will be archived later on Twitter as well as YouTube as well. And you talk about the team in general, and of course always looking to the future, always looking ahead as well. And it takes a lot of time to get a good schedule together. And of course, I know you got some trips going to Florida. Is that something that you and Wood plan in advance? And do you actually have time, Karen, during the off season to keep track of any other sports? Or are you pretty much just buttoned up on women's basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I am the captain of our conference. I also am, the facilitator for the WBCA Coaching Mentorship Program. I'm also representing a region out of 7 regions with the NCAA Advisory Council. So I'm involved with women's basketball, and so I love to promote it. I think it's the greatest game ever. If you look at the WNBA finals, I mean, it was amazing turnout. Had Candace Parker got Los Angeles Sparks their first championship. I think our game is growing, and so I try to encourage others to follow this great game. I think our women's basketball game fundamentals has gotten better all the way across the board. So I'm all in with women's basketball and what I do to help promote our sport. And Wood does a great job, our athletic director, just kind of working and guiding me with non-conference schedule. But again, he lets the head coaches, put the schedule together. And one thing that I wanted to do is be tested early, and we've, be able to go to Duke and Miami and play national runner-up Syracuse and have your local, rivalries with VCU, Women Mary, Hampton, Norfolk State at the TED, which Constance Center this year I'm so excited about. We want to be tested early. We want to see where we're at and what we're going to become. So I'm really looking forward to this schedule because, I think that it is going to show our group really how good we can be.
So your passion is obviously basketball. But Karen, what else is there? Is there anything else that you enjoy, hobbies, other interests, besides basketball?
Well, I love karaoke.
Oh, cool.
I'm actually a fun person, honestly. When I'm not doing basketball, I love laughing and singing and going to the beach. I mean, I love people. I mean, when I was growing up, I was class clown at Menchville with Most Athletic, and my twin sister was beauty queen and all that. So I just have a compassion for others and making people laugh. So if I can make you laugh singing, which I actually think I'm a good singer, then it's fun.
Right. It's all about time, talent, and treasure. And since Brenda is involved in the chocolate and candy business, what is your favorite Halloween candy, Karen?
Oh, my favorite Halloween candy, anything to do with chocolate and caramel.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of like my favorite. I have to watch out because it's addicting.
Right. You need to go by and see Brenda over at the Royal Chocolate.
I will,
yes,
Brenda.
you do, Karen. I would love to have you come see my store.
Yeah.
I will definitely be over there.
Tell her when you're there.
Well, the store is open 10 to 9 Monday through Saturday and 12 to 5 on Sunday. Fortunately, I'm not there all of those hours, but I'm there a lot of daytime hours, and when I'm not, we have absolutely amazing young people and for staff, so you can't go wrong.
I'm excited. I'm definitely going to come see you and maybe have a piece of candy before a game. Maybe it's something I can get going. It's something that might get me energized before a game.
It certainly will.
Karen, leave us with social media, how people can connect with you.
Barefoot at ODU.
Very good.
You can follow me at Barefoot at ODU, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Very good. All the best, and you are a wonderful person, full of energy. You inspire a lot of people, young and old. Keep doing what you're doing, Karen. Never give up.
Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you so much, Brenda. I enjoyed today. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Okay. Karen Barefoot, head women's basketball coach at Old Dominion University, enlightening us about the great sport of women's basketball at Old Dominion, and we'd like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world listening to today's broadcast in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea on tunein.com by typing WHKT on your phone or your computer. Thanks for all that you do. We're hoping you're enjoying today's episode of Sports Scene right here on 1650 AM. Tunein.com, type in WHKT. Stay tuned.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Defense Secretary Carter is promising to put as little burden as possible on California National Guard members who have been asked to pay back enlistment bonuses they were given before they served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Donald Trump taking a bit of a break from the campaign trail. He's attending the grand opening of his brand new hotel in Washington, D.C. He summoned the press and invited guests to the Trump International Hotel, just blocks from the White House. Authorities say an Oklahoma man suspected of killing two relatives and shooting two police officers during a violent rampage may be planning to target people connected to a criminal case against him. Checking Wall Street, the Dow is up about 47 points. The Nasdaq is down 16. More details at srnnews.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a SelectQuote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-423-4557. That's 1-800-423-4557. 1-800-423-4557. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors not available in all states.
The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always by U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
Hi, this is Greg Bicouvaris inviting you to join me for Sports Scene live each Wednesday from noon to 1 right here on News Talk 1650 and tunein.com by typing WHKT in the search box. Excellent guests and interaction at Greg Bick on Twitter, all powered by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Sports Scene each Wednesday from noon to 1 right here on News Talk 1650. People in Chesapeake and Hampton Roads have come to expect the finest Italian food at Spaghetti Eddie's. In addition to great lunch and dinner served daily, this fine establishment caters to and can host your party. Call 484-7301 for their Taylor Road location and call 410-5500 for their restaurant in Greenbrier. For more, log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com.
It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com.
And, of course, always great interviews, business segments, highlights, commentary, what tees me off, all part of Sports Scene every Wednesday. Save the date, 12 to 1. Go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link, the big YouTube link on the homepage for archive shows as well. Any archive shows, go to gjbtv.com, hit the YouTube link, and, of course, go to archive shows right there of Sports Scene. Also, sports highlights on nnpstv.com. It's the holiday season. Shop on the marketplace sponsors of gjbtv.com and HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. And, of course, HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Browse, shop, visit. Hope you enjoyed our first guest, Karen Barefoot, the head women's basketball coach at Old Dominion University, doing an excellent job, has led her team to 3 WNITs. She hopes to go to the NCAA tournament this year. Of course, a lot of great stuff going on at the World Series, and of course, football, college, high school, and the NFL. My background is on gjbtv.com, and it's a pleasure to have as our special guest co-host today as well, Brenda Tusing from the Royal Chocolate. Back to Showtime.
Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick. Email the show, bicogb@hotmail.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris in the HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com studios.
And I tell you one thing, Brenda, too, it's Halloween. Of course, you're involved in all the seasons with chocolate there, but that Halloween theme song, I told that to our producer last week. We got Michael Coleman filling in this week, Joe Daniel. That Halloween score that, that movie was around for so many years, it still gives people goosebumps.
I know, it does. It's a fun, creepy holiday, and people love to get into the creepiness of it.
Right, but what people don't like, Mike, you can get involved in this too, as we're in our roundtable here, is the clown thing. I mean, don't scare kids, don't scare adults. I understand it's Halloween, you got to wear a mask, but Mike, the only clown that I really remember a lot was the Joker in Batman. Now it seems like everybody wants to be the Joker.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's getting frightening out here. Even though it's before Halloween, it's still nobody should walk in fear that way.
Right.
Well, clowns aren't my hot button. I've always hated puppets. So the clown thing, I'm kind of missing the clown thing. But yeah, I know, with kids and all that, it's yeah.
And of course, Election Day is 13 days away. Thank goodness that'll be over regardless, so we can all go about our lives again.
I hope so.
Yes. All right. Speaking of theater and speaking of theatrics, let's welcome from the Virginia Stage Company, Brad Tuggle, live right here on 1650 AM. TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you doing?
It's an exciting time of the year. It's fall. We're going into the fourth quarter here, and of course, a lot's coming up. And you're talking with Greg, and of course, Brenda. What's coming up here?
Absolutely. This Friday night, we open up a brand new world premiere adaptation of Oliver Twist that we're doing in association with the Governor School for the Arts here in downtown Norfolk.
Well, tell us about that, and where is it going to be? Because I know you've done a lot of different things. So how is the production going?
It's going great. It's going to be at TCC's Roper Performing Arts Center, which is right on Granby Street. If you're familiar with Virginia Stage Company, we normally perform at the Wells, but that is under renovation, and it'll be back to us in December. But the Roper is just about a block away from the Wells, so it's a nice, easy walk over there. The show's going great. It's adapted by the same director who did our Christmas Carol. So if you've seen that and enjoyed it, this is going to be right along that same kind of vein. And it's got original music by Jake Hull, who is a local musician here in Norfolk that you may have heard of.
Brad, the renovations have to be a huge task. So how are they going?
Absolutely, they're going great. We handed over the keys in March, and we will be getting the space back in the middle of November, just in time to rehearse a Christmas Carol, and then we'll have a soft opening with Christmas Carol back in the Wells, and then have our grand reopening in January for A Streetcar Named Desire.
That's one of the all-time best, The Streetcar Named Desire. And of course, do you ever have any sports-type plays over the years there, or any sports themes? I think you've had some baseball stuff in the past.
I think we have. We haven't done any since I've been here, but I know that there are several really good baseball musicals and baseball plays.
Right.
Maybe there'll be one next year, but we don't have anything specific this year.
So can you share with us anything of the shows that we might look forward to in 2017?
Absolutely. So in April of 2017, we're doing The Wiz, which will be the most spectacular show that we've done in a long time. We're doing that with Norfolk State University. So it's going to be, you might have seen it on TV, the adaptation that happened this past winter. And we're really excited about that show. It's going to be kind of the biggest blockbuster thing that we've done in a long time.
Such a great time of the year, the holiday season around Granby Street in Norfolk, especially where you're located at. And when that Christmas Carol comes on, it's really a treat for families, friends, neighbors to watch that. Really, people, my mom would always get on me and say at least do one or two holiday-themed type events. Really, the Christmas Carol has got to be right up there.
Absolutely, and with Christmas Carol, we've seen a lot of people go ahead and buy that early in order to give it as a gift to their husband or wife, or even to their kids for Christmas.
You know, Brad, I've seen a lot of shows there. They're all excellent. But I've always wondered, how do you determine a cast? And is the crew and the cast, is this all paid performers?
For most of our shows, it's all paid performers. We're really excited for this one, though, that we have 18 students from the Governor's School for the Arts who are in the show. So we mix in some local actors along with those students, and then we do have some of the finest actors in the country that we cast out of New York City to come down and do the show. So you'll really see some seasoned actors who've been on Broadway before, mixing all the way with these local students who are at the Governor's School. So it really makes for a cool experience to see, but also a cool experience for these students to really learn in a unique way.
Yeah, you're right. It's all about staff and students working together. Go and give us a full reset. Virginia Stage Company. Talk about your address, social media, and the next 3 events coming up.
Absolutely. So Oliver Twist is the next one coming up. If you think that theater might not be your thing, this is the show to come and see. It's lots of fast-paced music. It's a really fun time and really accessible. And that opens up this Friday and goes through November the 13th. That's at TCC's Roper Performing Arts Center, right on Granby Street in downtown Norfolk. And then we have A Christmas Carol, which opens on December the 9th, and we'll play through Christmas Eve. This is our 36th Christmas Carol, and we're really excited to bring it back to Norfolk. And then we open the Wells back up with A Streetcar Named Desire in January, and we'll have a huge opening night party for that. And so keep your eyes out. You can check out our social media. You can check us out by searching on Facebook, or we're also on Twitter and Instagram. Find us at our website, which is vastage.org.
Brad, I feel like you have a local gem there. The performances are excellent, but how do you feel that we compare, say, with what's offered around the rest of the country?
Absolutely. Yeah, we are, Virginia Stage Company is recognized by the other theaters in the country that we're amongst that echelon of the top 100 companies kind of around the country, that most big cities have somebody like us, and we're excited to bring the newest things from New York here, and also to kind of bring those classics back. What's pretty great about what we do, in my opinion at least, is that it is these world-class performers, but all of the shows are rehearsed and the sets are built and everything is done here in Norfolk specifically for this performance.
Right. All right, Brad, all the best, and look forward to seeing all your great shows coming up. And really there's something for everyone, and all the information's right on the website as far as tickets and everything else, correct?
Yes, it's all right there for you.
All right, and plug the website one more time.
All right, vastage.org, or give us a call at 627-1234.
Brad Tuggle, thank you, my friend.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, Brad Tuggle right there
Bye.
from the Virginia Stage Company. And, of course, Brenda, get your thoughts, too. The holiday season is not only great for, like, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, family, and friends, but to do a social event, to do a cultural event, to open your eyes up a little bit. We have a lot to offer here in Hampton Roads, besides my favorite thing, of course, the ocean front.
Right, we do, and there's so much around. There's so much theater. There's so much to enjoy, whether it's Virginia Beach or Norfolk. It's just sometimes I am absolutely amazed. I feel like we're still a small town, but yet the opportunities that we have here are incredible.
Yeah, what I like about our area the most is no matter where you go on the south side especially, or even the peninsula, you pretty much can run into somebody that you know. And there's nothing like it. We have traffic here, but it's nothing, Mike, you can relate to this, it's nothing like 95 up in D.C. Pretty much you can get around here pretty quickly as well. Your thoughts, too. You know, there's something for everyone here.
There is something for everyone here. Traffic-wise, I get very fortunate. I get to kind of go back and forth to work, and it's a pretty easy commute. But when I step out of my comfort zone and have to go somewhere else, I'm a little surprised at the traffic. But when I go to D.C., I think, yeah, maybe we have it pretty good.
Traffic for me is pretty easy because I get up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
so
there's nobody out there.
nobody's out on the road. So get up 4 in the morning, get here by 5:30, it's easy sailing, and by the time I get off work, everybody's already at work. So
Right.
yeah, so I don't really have.
That's
any
one way to
practice.
get around it.
Yeah, of course.
Having the roundtable type sports scene right here on 1650 AM, tunein.com, type in WHKT to listen to your phone or your computer. One of my great sponsors from the Royal Chocolate. She sponsored me when I worked at the Game for several years there from 2007 to 13, and of course here since 2013. And Brenda, you're coming up, the anniversary of the Royal Chocolate keeps getting older.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
so do
that's
I.
you, though,
right
yeah.
along with it.
Yeah.
We're coming up on 10 years. The 15th of December is our actual anniversary, right in the middle of the holiday season. No time to celebrate us, but we will do something big in January. We're looking forward to that, and we better get planning pretty soon because time's flying by.
And give us your specifics. You're located right there at the Town Center, Virginia Beach.
We are in the Town Center, 164 Central Park Avenue. We are not far from the big square and the fountain that everybody recognizes, pretty much across the street and down a little more towards Columbus. It's been a great spot. A lot of change, more change happening. Big tower getting ready to appear before our very eyes right out our front door. They've done groundbreaking ceremonies on Monday. So that's going to be very exciting. New theater, Cider Theater is going in there. A lot of retail, some more shopping and restaurants, and I think I forget how many. I shouldn't say 270 apartments or something, but a lot of apartments, so more living space.
That's a lot. But
It's a
of course,
lot.
my favorite thing is the ocean front, and I'm glad the city council is not doing anything with the arena right now because, Mike, the tourists, they care about the sand, they care about shopping and retail, and they care about the ocean, putting their feet in the water. I don't really, and they already have the amphitheater right down the street. I really don't think anybody's crying for another arena in the hot, sticky summer months of the summer. The tourists, the kids, the families, they basically like retail, restaurants, and of course the ocean front.
Yep, they're here for the sun and surf.
Absolutely. All right, stay tuned. This is Sports Scene live on 1650 AM. TuneIn.com, our Halloween edition right here. Type in WHKT to listen to your phone or your computer with Michael Coleman, Brenda Tusing, Greg Bicouvaris. Stay tuned.
The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
People in Chesapeake and Hampton Roads have come to expect the finest Italian food at Spaghetti Eddie's. In addition to great lunch and dinner served daily, this fine establishment caters to and can host your party. Call 484-7301 for their Taylor Road location and call 410-5500 for their restaurant in Greenbrier. For more, log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
All right, back live right here on Sports Scene. Of course, Outback Steakhouse in Kempsville and Virginia Beach. Great place for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. They got great appetizers like bloom petals, coconut shrimp. They got excellent entrees like burgers, of course, steaks, seafood, pasta, excellent desserts as well. Of course, right there at 1255 Fordham Drive in Virginia Beach in Kempsville. Give them a call at 523-4832. Go by and see Michael and the friendly staff. Excellent place for lunch, dinner, 7 days a week is at Outback Steakhouse as well, right there in Virginia Beach. You can't go wrong there to watch the NFL, college sports, great rustic-like atmosphere, newly renovated at Outback Steakhouse in Virginia Beach. Back with Brenda Tusing from the Royal Chocolate. Brenda, so when somebody walks into your store, what are they going to see right now?
They're going to see a lot of activity. They're going to see a lot of beautiful fall colors. We are right in the swing of the season. We're gearing up, of course. There's a huge event in Town Center this Saturday, actually, for kids, and I believe it's from 12 to 4. It's all free, free parking throughout Town Center. It's called Town and Treat, and the kids get to go to all of the businesses and get candy. It's a very safe environment, so that's a lot of fun. And then, of course, we get right into Thanksgiving. So we've got all the golds and greens and oranges of fall coming up. But the thing they'll really notice, first thing that hits them when they come in the door, is the amazing smell of chocolate. People literally come in the door, stand still, stop, and say, "Oh, it smells so good in here." So that's always fun. They'll see us making chocolate. They'll see us dipping apples, dipping strawberries, making all kinds of fun things. So, yeah, it's busy.
It's always good, too, as well. And, of course, another great place in Virginia Beach is CP Shuckers, locations on Shore Drive and Pacific Avenue. People love their prime rib, seafood, and much more. They showcase NASCAR, the World Series, NHL, NBA has got started, college football, golf, soccer, tennis, and, of course, the NFL on Thursday night, all day Sunday, Sunday night, and Monday night. Like both locations on Facebook and log on to cpshuckers.com. Eat or be eaten at CP Shuckers. Great place for lunch, dinner, and late night appetizers, burgers, pasta, seafood. Go by and see Chef Leon at Shore Drive, as well as Matt and Mark right there at both locations. Go to cpshuckers.com as well. And of course, you talk about, of course, your husband. He likes sports a little bit, doesn't he?
He does.
What does he like
much
to watch?
More than I do.
What does he like?
So he is football primarily. He does watch basketball. He says he doesn't watch a lot of sports, but then that racing thing comes on and he's watching that. Die-hard Redskins fan. I mean, if you look at the word loyalty, his picture is right next to it for the Redskins. So, yeah. But he says every week they're going to give him a heart attack. But he does enjoy sports. He does enjoy football primarily, I would say.
And let me ask you, too, because the Redskins this week, they have to go to England. Now, think about this just from a travel standpoint. The NFL has got several games overseas, but you're used to a routine during the regular season. You have to stop what you do and then travel overseas to play an NFL game that starts way early in the morning for the West Coast especially.
Right, sure.
But there is something to be said about routine.
There is something to be said about routine. The thing I say about routine is it's a little boring. But, yeah, I think certainly for a team or anything along that line, it would be important to kind of hit your stride there.
Right. Of course, and we're going to get to someone else right here on 1650 AM, tunein.com. Michael Coleman. Is Gina there?
Hey there, how are you?
We only got a few minutes, but we're doing good. We're doing good. What's the next event coming up with your company?
Smithfield VA Events has got an event January 14th. It's our Smithfield Bob Fest and Chili Bob 8K Road Race. It's Bloody Marys, oysters, Brunswick stew, barbecue, all underneath about 30,000 square feet of heated tent space. Tickets go on sale November 16th and 17th, and there's lots of information available about the event and some changes that we made. We're going with a bigger tent that's on our website, which is smithfieldvaevents.com, and then click on the Bob Fest logo, and it'll take you to the event website, and there's all kinds of information available.
So, hey, Gina, how do people get a hold of you?
How do people get a hold of me? They can email me at Gina, Gina, at Smithfield, VA, like for Virginia, events.com. And general information about our event, they can contact our visitor center in downtown Smithfield, and that phone number is 757-357-5182.
So what do you do? I've been part of events. I'm always fascinated by the put together of it. But what do you do every year to try to evolve, put a new spin on it, keep it fresh? Or do you find that the tried and true works?
I'm sorry, what?
Or do you find that the tried and true works?
Well, so far, some of our events, this will be the fourth year we've done this event. So We've made changes to it each time. I mean, the core thing, we offer Bloody Marys, oysters, Brunswick stew barbecue. We sell beer and wine. The DeLoreans have been our house band for this event since we started, and once again, they're back this year because so far that seems to work. We've made some internal changes. Each year we've gone with a bigger tent. This year we've incorporated some changes for our VIP sponsors. They now have private access, and the spacing that they get for their tables and their private chalet type areas is a little bit larger, so we can service them better. We've with the bigger tent, our dance floor is expanding from 1,800 square feet to 3,000 square feet. So, so we constantly make some changes to kind of make the event a little better. We're serving our oysters a little differently, but so far for the events that we have, I mean, our core general idea of the event has gone over very well, but we constantly make changes and tweak our event to make it a better experience for our fest attendees.
Well, I can see where people would they come to expect a certain thing, so it's good to have all of those things that they're counting on. But talk to me for a minute about volunteers. How many do you need? How important are they for your event?
Oh, our volunteers are extremely important. We do 3 events a year, and depending on which event it is, we use anywhere from 275 to 450 volunteers that volunteer and help us, provide the different functions of our events. We are fortunate enough to live in a community that we just came off our Bacon Festival a couple of weeks ago. It was October 1st, and we had 38 different organizations that came out and volunteered, and we've been doing this for 5 years now. So it's, for example, like our Kiwanis man our gate, and they do that for all of our events. VFW does our parking. The YMCA Annual Giving Fund brings out volunteers, and they sell our drink tickets at each event. So each of our organizations kind of have taken ownership, when possible, of a section of the event that, that cuts down on training for us. Each of our events are different. Our Bacon Fest, we use a lot more volunteers because we cook 2,200 pounds of bacon prior to the event starting. At least partially we cook it. So that takes a substantial number of volunteers. And we make donations back to organizations based on the number of hours that their organization volunteers. And then we also pick what's called benefiting organizations for our events, and they get a $10,000 check. And it depends on which event it is, how many of those we do. Our Wine and Brew Fest, we usually do 4 or 5 organizations that way. The Bob Fest in January, we only do 1 organization that way, just because it's not as financially successful an event, because it's very expensive to put on just because of the tent size. And we can't do as many people at that event because it is inside a tent. It's not out in the open. Mm-hmm. But volunteers are critical to our organization.
Gina, all the best. We're pushed against time, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. All right. Let's get to What Teased Me Off.
What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
And, of course, Mattress Air Foam Water in the Denby section of Newport News. They got Savvy Rest, all organic, latex, chemical-free. They ship nationwide. Great place to get a mattress right there. Of course, half price of Sleep Number. Always a great place in the Denby section. Go by and see John Smith at Mattress Air Foam Water. Of course, what teased me off? Having to call and email somebody several times to get basic information. Extending deadlines, letting people the deadline is October 23rd, and then conveniently letting others know it's later. Old Dominion football team, you haven't beaten anybody yet, and then you have bad sportsmanship. Really? Browns, you're 0-7, but you have talent. That drives me crazy in the NFL. Any preseason sport, done. I'm done with it. And hiding behind text, emails, and social media to avoid verbal chats. Brenda Tusing, what teased you off?
Well, not as much as tease you off, apparently. I like to think I'm pretty laid back. I will say I'm also very prompt, as you saw today. I'm either early or right on time. I really hate attending a meeting, and the meeting is maybe 10, 15 minutes into it, and somebody comes in late. And I get it. I get traffic, and it happens to everyone, and I certainly, can empathize with that. But I really don't like when the meeting then restarts for the person that's come in late, and I'm sitting through 10 minutes of what I've already heard. So that's probably the thing that teased me off the most.
Brenda, thanks a lot. For more, go to theroyalchocolate.com. Great job today.
Thank you, Greg. It's been a blast.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
All right. And Michael Coleman right here filling in as well for JD. I want to thank Karen Barefoot, Brad Tuggle, Gina Ippolito. For more, go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. We'll be back live on Wednesday, of course, next week as we get closer to Election Day for Sports Scene right here on 1650 AM, tunein.com. Type in WHKT, powered by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Again, go to gjbtv.com, hit the YouTube link, and of course, we will talk to you soon. I'm Greg Bicouvaris. Thank you.